Good morning, Laura. How are you? Cool, good. Where are you again? Are you in the UK? Oh, US? Well, it must be really early for you. It's 10 minutes after 11 a.m. in Copenhagen, Virginia. You're up really early or really late. It was just when you said good morning, I just assumed it was the UK. So it's pretty cold here. Just now it's -9 centigrade. It was -11 when I got up. So it's a chilly one. Wax time. So how long have you been diamond painting for? Did you get caught in all that snow that I've been hearing about? A year in March, okay. Hi Joanne from sunny England. Some things never change. It's clear and very cold here this morning. We have guys working out in the street today, so they're well wrapped up. They're spending more time in the vehicle with engines running and heaters on than they are outside, and I can't blame them. I'm just double checking that I'm doing the right thing. Talking and dotting at the same time is a challenge for me. As everybody knows, guys can't multitask. Normally, I listen to music while I'm doing this, and that's as far as the multitasking goes. (23rd of March). Yeah, I think diamond painting took a sudden boom in popularity because of COVID-19. I started, I think, in January, but I was already looking at stuff sort of the end of November. But I spent quite a bit of time browsing YouTube videos and websites before I actually bought anything. So I was doing it before the COVID thing. So just over a year for me. Just checking I haven't missed. There's one. So what sort of things do you both like to diamond paint? Like, what is your favourite theme? Like landscapes, whatever. Yeah, I think watching YouTube videos was definitely a good idea for me anyway, because I bought a light pad with the first diamond painting I did, and it was a 60 by 60, and it had a lot of dark colours, dark greens and stuff in it with black fonts. I was talking about it yesterday. I think if I hadn't had the light pad, I'm pretty sure I would have given up. Just too hard to see. I've got quite a variety of stuff, but most of them relate to something in my life. They sort of remind me of things, most of them. Sometimes I just see one and I think I really like that, and I get it. And I have somewhere in the region of 25 in my stash. So I'm just as bad as everybody else for collecting them. But when I sit down and try and think about it, I don't know why we do it. I don't know why some people have over 100 diamond paintings sitting in a cupboard, or some people have got over 200. Okay, so you do that as well, relate to things. Hi, Nicole. Good morning from a chilly Copenhagen. We're just talking about what sort of diamond paintings people do. I know, like, some people like scenic scenery ones, some like lighthouses, some like owls. I was just wondering what sort of things people like. I like just really a mixture of things. But I was also just touching on the subject there about why we collect so many. Why do we have them sitting in the cupboard for months, if not years, before we actually get around to doing them? Dolphins, yeah, cool. Just deciding what colour to do next. This one is a bit more sensible than the ones I've been doing recently. It's only got 35 colours. The one that I stopped, put on hold while I'm doing this one, it has 80, and the one that I did before that had 90. So a bit of a novelty to drop down to 35. And you can see that I'm working from the bags. This is the first time I've actually done it. I thought I would give it a try. Yeah, I've found that I like brightly coloured diamond paintings. I've got quite a few bright ones in the stash. Just double checking again. I always check to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. There's nothing worse than forgetting which symbol you're doing and putting down the wrong colour and then having to pick them all back off. Yeah, this is the first time I've tried this, Laura. It works very well. I'm sort of starting to get ready to do a sort of series of shorter videos, specifically aimed at people who are looking to start their very first diamond painting, or they're thinking about maybe buying one for a friend to get them into it. And there's a few things I've been looking at and thinking about. So I've got a diamond painting here that I got from Amazon, relatively small one. And I want to take it from basically opening the packet. It's not in a box. It's one of these ones that's wrapped up in cellophane. opening the packet and going through what you find in it and talking about starting it without any extra tools, without storage boxes, without light pads, anything. Just, you've got it. This is what you do from the very beginning to get started. And then over time, start to introduce things like light pads and show like how they can help. And try and cover as much as possible over a sort of series of videos. I'm sure it's been done, but the thing is, there's no reason why I can't do one as well. I think the more variety that people see, the better it is for them, rather than just one video and that's it. Because as we all know, we all change and we all have slightly different ways that we work. And the more that people can see it isn't a dead set thing, you don't have to start this way or use these boxes or use this wax or but I think at the very beginning they need a guide, they need just a basic A, B, C, D to get started, because if you sit and watch all the videos it gets very confusing. At least I think that anyway. And if you go into the forums and ask a question, you get 10 different answers to the same question, which again, if you're absolutely new, is very confusing. So I'm planning to do them and explain why I'm doing them the way I do them. So there's some sort of logic behind it. Rather than just saying you do this and you do that. And baby wipes, if you stick paper, I'll actually explain why. I'm going to actually do it deliberately, put paper on a canvas and explain what happens and what happens when you take it off. Trying to make it as straightforward and simple as possible so that people aren't sort of second guessing what I mean by things I'm saying. Just everything as basic as possible. And the idea, like I said, is really for absolute beginners who really haven't got a clue what to do with anything. I've seen quite a lot of comments where people have got their first kit and they can't get the drill to stick. And eventually it was discovered that they weren't taking this stuff back. So they were trying to dab into the plastic. Obviously it doesn't work. So taking it, things like that from the very beginning, like this is wax, and explaining what it's for, and then explaining it's got plastic on it and you have to peel it back and everything. I want to try and do it from the bottom up. So that's in my mind. When I'm actually going to start doing it, I'm not sure, because it is quiet just now, but we have major construction going on outside. But I think because it's so cold, they're not really doing it today. But I don't want to start recording and then suddenly we hear beep, 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 and then trucks and diggers. And so I'm going to wait until I'm sure it's going to be as quiet as I can get it and then do some stuff. But yeah, this is the first time I've used the bags. It's okay. The downside of it is having to move all the bags across when they get in the way of where you're working on. Whereas if they were in a box, you would just pick up the box and move it. So that's a bit of a downside. But if you're doing a small diamond painting and your table is big enough, there's enough space for the bags to sit at the side and you don't have to do that. Just got a message from the post office. Okay. I was meant to get a delivery today. That's them telling me it's going to be... No, hang on. This is Thursday. That's confirming this today. I'm losing track of days. Yeah, that's right, Laura. I actually now I tend to talk about the same sort of things again and again when I do these lives, but I can never remember who was in at the time, so I just go over it. And the thing is, there's normally other people in that weren't in the last one, so it's the first time they've heard it. So I tend to repeat a lot. But what I was going to say was, when I was doing all this, looking at videos and trying to decide what I was going to get, that's what I was reading all the time. Square drills are really hard, and but before I read that, I kept reading that if you want a detailed, like a good picture, it should be square drills because they give more detail, and it should be big. The bigger it is, the clearer the picture will be, which makes sense because you've got basically more squares on the canvas, so you get finer detail. I understood that. So I ended up getting a 60 by 60 square drills for my very first diamond painting. And it wasn't until I opened the box and tipped out the drills that I realised how small drills are and how large a 60 by 60 is. So that was a bit of a baptism by fire, but I did it and I just took my time. And I never really had any major problems with it. So then I thought, yeah, I really like it. It looks really good. So I thought, that's it. Always square. I'm never doing rounds. Rounds aren't as sharp, aren't as clear. And that's what I started. I was buying squares, and then one time I bought one from Amazon, I think it was, and it turned up and I opened it and it was round drills. And I thought, it's going to look like crap. And it wasn't that big. And I thought, this is just going to be a waste of time. But then I thought, okay, I may as well do it. And it turned out fine, absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong with it. And then I started to think about it, and I'm thinking, does it really matter? The thing is, when we're doing these, I mean, again, I know that I'm preaching. I'm talking to people that have been doing this forever and know a lot more than me. But it's just, I'm just expressing what I think. You get people talking about the gaps, like in the squares like this, and you can see the gaps. I mean, there's loads of them, but they're absolutely tiny. And if you compare those little gaps to the gaps around round drills, like every corner, you've got that big triangle, every single corner, and that still looks okay from a normal viewing distance. So people, like you're saying, people get hung up on this. So that one there, I can see it, squint. Step back 2 steps, switch the light off. You're never ever going to see that, ever. Our eyesight isn't that good. I mean, if I switch that off, and I'm doing this just in the chance that somebody's in that's thinking about diamond painting. If I can reach the light pad, this is one of my pet hates when you're doing the big ones. It's just an A4, trying to reach underneath the canvas. But if I switch that off, here's the gap. And that camera is, what, a foot, maybe a foot away? When you're looking at canvases, you're going to be at least 2 feet, probably a lot more than that. And you will never ever see the gaps. I really like how shiny these drills are. You can see it because I've got the light pad here. The edge of the light pad is along here. So you get that different angle. It looks like white lights. I accidentally found that out yesterday, but it shows how shiny they are. And that's the thing that you miss when you see pictures of diamond paintings. Okay, they look cool, but you miss this. You miss the whole shiny thing. Like when you walk by this, all those little glittery bits will move, and that's the attraction of them. Yeah, and the thing is, I would much rather prefer that the gaps are there, because if they're not, those drills are very tight against each other, and that is going to cause popping problems where you'll get a drill popping up, and it's just because they are so tight and there's no tolerance for anything to move at all. I actually prefer them like this, where there is a little gap around them. Like I said, compare it to round, and it's a lot less than the gaps around round drills. Now you see it, warts and all. But I have absolutely no problem with this. But I know that people will look at them and they'll think, I can see that gap there. Look at that big gap. So I'll move it. Yeah. Oh, look at that gap. I'll move it. You're wasting your time. You're doing all this work for no purpose at all. I mean, I do it. Don't get me wrong. I will see myself sitting. I'll suddenly see like one gap that looks a bit wider than the rest, and I will sometimes just do that. But I know at the end of the day, there's no need. It's not as if I need to do that or somebody's going to see it. I mean, another test would be to do a diamond painting and take one drill off the diamond painting and then stand back and look at it, and then get somebody who doesn't know where you took the drill from to look at the picture and ask them if it looks okay, and see if they say there's a drill missing there. Nobody's going to notice it realistically in the real world. But when we're doing them, we've got a face in them. Like this one just now, looking at this where I'm sitting, I have no idea what that is at all. It's just lines of different colours. Doesn't mean anything. It isn't until I stand up then I start to get an idea of what it is. I like that. I like that thing where you're working on it and you're thinking, this isn't working. And then you step back and you think, oh wow, it looks really cool. I did a custom of Newhound in Copenhagen, a picture that I took a while ago. And that was like that when I was working on it. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, I don't know how this is going to turn out. It was very like this. You couldn't really make out what things were. And then as soon as I stood up and looked at it, I was like, oh, yeah, that looks fine. And then when I put it on the wall, it looks even better. It's just how it is. Yeah, it could be. I mean, the thing is, if you want the perfect picture, buy the print. Don't buy a diamond painting. You're sort of missing the point, I think, when you're trying to get perfection out of diamond paintings. That isn't what it's about. You're never ever going to get a diamond painting as detailed as a print. If you want all the wispy smoke and stuff, buy the print. And I think as well, you have to remember it's meant to be a relaxing hobby. If you're getting stressed out about all these little gaps, maybe it's not a good hobby for you if it's going to cause you stress, because the whole point is it doesn't. It's relaxing. As I said, I listen to music when I'm doing them normally, and that's it. I just put the headphones on and just play Spotify, pick a music genre that I like, and I just listen to music while I'm doing it. See, that's me. I do it. That was twisted, so I turned it. I know for a fact when I put that drill that's missing in, it'll push it into place. But it's one of these things. I mean, I suppose you can't help it, but it's when you start spending time sitting doing that you could be placing more drills instead of doing that. And I think for people that are absolutely totally new, trying to get that point across. I mean, I've done little videos before where I had a section that was just solid black, and I had a light pad underneath half of it, and had the light pad switched on. So you could see what it looks like without the light pad, what it looks like with the light pad. And it's a huge difference. Then I switched the light pad off and the whole thing just looks black. You can't see a gap at all. And then what I did with that one as well was I took a drill out and I had the camera facing it. The light pad was off, and looking at it, you couldn't see anything was missing. As soon as I switched the light pad on, you could see this little white square. And that was more to get the point across why light pads can be really, really handy. If you're doing a diamond painting, it's a lot more obvious. Any drill that you've missed is a lot more obvious if you've got light behind. I don't think it would be as obvious shining light on it. But I just feel that the light behind the canvas is better. But I have had times where it's been a white symbol, a white character, not black. And sometimes I find that can be hard to see with the light pad on. So sometimes I don't use it. But the vast majority of the time, it's on all the time. But if I start to struggle to see things, I'll switch it off and see if that makes a difference. But balancing it out, I'd say 99% of the time the light pad is on. I mean, I used to do cross stitch a long time ago, and compared to cross stitch, this is a walk in the park. Just placing these little squares and not having to thread a needle and then do little crosses and count where the stitches should go and all that stuff. This is a lot easier. How do I work in this new canvas in the company? How do I work in the new canvas in the company represent the canvas? I like this canvas. I mean, as I said, the drills are very shiny. I think that it's going to look really, really good once I get it framed. I've already got the frame, so I'll just be sticking it in the frame when I finish it. The drills, they aren't Diamond Art Club quality, but I still think it's going to look really good. I am finding that I'm getting a few drills that are bigger than the rest, so I've just been making sure that I pick them out. Not a huge number, but more than normal, I would say. Some of the drills have got little buzzer on them, but that goes for nearly every company. I've even had that with Diamond Art Club. I don't know. I mean, I would say it's fine. The canvas is thin. The canvas is very thin. How much that really matters when you're finished, I'm not sure. Because to me, it's more how sticky the glue is. Once the drills are on there, how long are they going to stay there? To me, that's the important part. How thick or thin the canvas is doesn't really matter when it comes to the end result. It's I wouldn't say to anybody don't buy them because whatever. The company, I don't know, they just got in touch with me, said, we've seen your reviews, would you be interested in reviewing one of ours? And I said, yeah, I've never had anything from them before. So I've been talking to other people, I've been hearing things, but I hear things about all companies. Every company has people complaining about them, and I mean every company. It's just how it balances out, I suppose, how many people are complaining. The thing is, a lot of people don't say anything when the canvas is fine, and that's the problem. People tend only to mention things in groups when things go wrong. And I feel that it sort of puts things out of proportion. If you happen to get somebody in a group complaining about a certain company, and then somebody else complains about the same company around about the same time, then you start to think, okay, that company sucks because 2 people complained. You don't know that 300 people didn't complain. It's just one of these things. So I don't know. I never had anything to complain about. They've got the really good tweezers that I like. You know, the heavy ones. This isn't the exact ones, but they are exactly the same as this. I think these came from Diamond Art Club originally. Much stronger than the usual cheap tin ones, and very sharp, which makes them really good for picking up drills. I found it a lot easier to pick up square drills using these things than using the cheap tin ones. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any complaints. So we'll see what it looks like at the end. I mean, that's the main thing, really, is how it looks at the end and how it's going to look hanging up in the wall. Is it going to look good? If it looks good, it's good. You will get somewhere you have to work a bit harder because of whatever problems, bubbles or whatever. But it's the end result is the real thing. I mean, I'm definitely not in this to try and go around saying that this company's better than that company, or like, I'm not one to knock companies because they're cheap. But if the quality's bad, it doesn't matter who it is. Or if I have a lot of problems with it, I'm going to mention it. And that's what I told them when they said about doing a review. I said, I'm quite happy to do a review, but it's going to be an honest review. Just because they sent me it for free, that doesn't mean to say I'm going to say it's good. And I did say that. If any companies send me stuff, it's up to them, really. I mean, if they're confident that their stuff is good enough, or if they want an honest review of what needs fixed, I'm quite happy to do that. And again, it's just my personal opinion, simple as that. Everybody's got their own opinions. But we'll see. When it's finished and framed, I think this is going to look very nice, and it will be up on the wall behind me for my normal sort of YouTube stuff. I mix them and match them behind me. I try and let people see all the different things I've done. I haven't tried glue. I haven't even ordered them yet. Yeah, is it the micro dots? Somebody had said make sure it's micro dots. I haven't got around to doing that yet. But again, to be honest, I don't really have a problem with the pink wax. To me, it isn't a huge deal to have to stick a pen in a piece of wax every however often. I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour. Sometimes it just depends. I don't see that as a big deal. You get the wax with the kit; it doesn't cost you anything. But I know that some people hate it. I don't know if you saw the thing that I did. I did a which wax wins. I was taking all these different waxes and things and trying them. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, somebody said to me, if you're getting those dots, get the micro dots. They're easier to put in the pen. Yeah, I had 10 different waxes, but most of them were pink wax, but they came from different companies and they look different. Like sometimes you get pink wax that looks very pale and see-through, and sometimes it's a more reddish colour. So I did the wax from Diamond Art Club, Homecraftology, just random ones. I did Museum Putty, I did Paddy Wax. Altogether, there were 10. And what I did was I just took one dot and placed as many drills as I could before I would change it. Like the drill kept falling off. So that took a long time to do that, because I think the Museum Putty I placed some like 8,500 dots with one dot. So it was the time it took to do that. And I put them all in columns so you could see them against each other. Yeah, again, I've heard from the very beginning before I even started, don't use pink wax on ABs because it pulls the wax out of the pen, or it can pull the coating off the drill. And I've never tried it. I just use tweezers for the ABs. I've just always done that because I kept hearing about that problem, and I still hear people complaining that the wax is being pulled out of the pen. So rather than waste time messing about with that, I just use tweezers for ABs because you never really get that many, really. I did try using tweezers at one point. Because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I just use tweezers. I don't use the pen." And I tried it, but I found after a while, my hands, I was starting to get like cramps in my fingers. But I do diamond paint for long spells at a time. So I was getting sore hands, and I thought, forget that. I'll just go back to the pen. And I was using the pink pen for the first 5 months. I never had any problems with it. But then I got curious about these custom pens and decided to get one, and then that sort of snowballed. So now I've got quite a few, and from different manufacturers. So they're different shapes, different weights. The most unusual one that I've got was a glass one. That was the first time I'd seen a glass diamond painting pen, which I don't like because it's too thin. But my wife uses it. That's her favourite pen. So again, it's people are individual. What I like, you might not. What you like, I might not. Or maybe we'll both like it. That sort of thing. It's very hard to say to somebody this pen is the best because you don't know if that pen will suit them. I haven't done any special drills yet. I have a partial. I haven't done any partials yet. I've actually got 2 partials, but I've got one that's got a lot of the special gems. I'm going to finish do this one and frame it and get it up, and then I'm going to do a mystery one that I got just a few days ago. It's small. Never done a mystery one before, so I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go back to the diamond painting gym custom and finish that because it's sort of half done, but I stopped it to get this done. Exactly, Laura. That's the whole thing. It doesn't matter how many times you read things that everybody raves about something. If it doesn't work for you, use something else. Don't use things because everybody else uses it. I suppose I should actually do something. And I do this. This is just a habit that I got in. This is a phone holder, mobile phone. You're meant to set your phone in there so you can sit it up and watch it on a table or something. And this was lying about, never used it. And one day I just sat it down and I sat the box of the drills that I was using. I sat it on that to get it just so it stands out and I know exactly where it is. Because sometimes I would put things down and I'd be like, where is it? So I got in the habit of just sitting whatever I was working on top of this, and then the label facing towards me. So if I stopped and then came back, I could just look at this and I would see the number that I was on. And it's just became a habit. So I use this all the time. It's just a weird thing that I've got into doing. But at times, sometimes when I'm looking in groups, I get the feeling it's more a competition than a hobby. People are trying to emphasize how good whatever it is they use is, or how much better it is than anything else, and this is the way to do things. I don't really like that. I think it's nice to give options. Like people say, I use tweezers, I use a pen, I use whatever. But just at times, I feel it's more people competing with each other, which to me defeats the purpose. We're all doing the same hobby. We should be trying to help each other. But I think that goes for anything really in groups. If you get enough people in, you're going to get friction, no matter what it is. Okay, do you? So I'm not the only one. But the reason I'm doing the bags is because when I do this beginnersy thing, I'm going to mention the fact that you get companies that they come in a bag and they're already numbered and they're already labelled, and it's a resealable bag, so you don't have to cut the bags and then find something to put the drills in, or cut the bag a little bit and use a bit of tape to keep it shut, which eventually the bag's going to rip. I think for somebody who's totally new, this is a really, really good way for them to get started. And as I said, as I work on the project, I'm going to start bringing in other things. But at the very beginning, it's a absolute beginner guide. And I know it's been done, but I haven't really watched any because I'm doing it from my own experience, and I don't want to be influenced by watching other people's things. So I'm just going to work it the way that I think of, and that way, hopefully, it comes across as not just being a copy of something I've seen. It's purely me thinking about how I do things, thinking about an absolute beginner, the things that would be a help to them. Like if they got one where the drills are in bags, they can start it. They don't have to go and start looking at Tic Tac boxes or Harbor Freight or any of the rest. They can just work from the bags and see how they get on with it. Because I think some people maybe do one diamond painting and don't do any more. I get the feeling it'd be very rare, but some people maybe just it doesn't really do anything for them, and then they've bought all these boxes and spent money and all this stuff, and then they find out they don't really enjoy doing it. So I think it's better to start with the basics, what you've got in the box, and then take it from there. What is your favourite company, Laura? Like, what company have you bought most diamond paintings from? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, I can't really talk about that because I don't know, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I made a point of buying. Up until this one, like I buy the stuff, like I pay for it. And I've been trying to buy from a lot of different companies just to get a representation of each company, and then I do the reviews. This one, the company contacted me, which was unusual for me anyway. Diamond Art Club, yeah, I would be the same. And I know that people complain about the prices, they're too expensive, but they are, quality wise. I mean, diamond dots look really good as well. I've got a Christmas one. I was hoping to get it done for Christmas, but just the way things panned out, I wasn't going to get it done. So I thought I'll just leave it. I'll do it for this Christmas. I think it's going to be really, really nice. The quality of everything looks really, really good. But out of the ones that I have done, Diamond Art Club, definitely. But I'm not the type of person that buys stuff just because it's from a certain company and just because I think Diamond Art Club are probably the best quality-wise. I have a few, but I wouldn't buy a lot because I think that a lot of the pictures are very samey, cutesy, girly type things, which there's obviously a market because people, they wouldn't be selling them if nobody bought them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, this one, like I said, I mean, they contacted me and said, "Would you like to do a review?" It's not as if I'm on any commission. If anybody buy, I mean, I'm not on anything like that. All I did was I said I would do a review, and it would be what it would be. So I never had any real complaints about it at all. I like the tweezers. The tweezers are definitely the best that I've used. And then I thought, well, since they gave me it, I'll. That's why I stopped the one I was working on. I wanted to work on it just so I get an overall, not just a unboxing and that's it. So that's why I'm doing this. Sorry, it's jumped the queue. I want to get it done and I want to get it up so people can see it. Hi Mauricia, thanks for dropping in. Good. Is it still morning? 5 minutes to midday. Good morning. Welcome to cold Copenhagen. And I do get sidetracked when I'm talking. If anybody's got anything that they want to throw up and get a conversation going, feel free. But what was I saying? I was saying something about this. Yeah, I wouldn't buy, even though I would say Diamond Art Club are definitely the best quality that I've bought. I wouldn't buy all of their stuff. Some people do. They collect a certain artist and that type of thing. I got that from Homecraftology. Oh, warm Caribbean morning. Yeah, I can only dream. It's in fact, let me check. We'll see what temperature it is now. This morning when I got up, with the wind chill factor, it was minus 11 centigrade in Copenhagen. And we'll see what temperature. So it's saying -3 in Copenhagen just now, but if we go down to the wind chill, it's -7. So not exactly bikini weather in Copenhagen. Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. I was just talking about Diamond Art Club and people saying they're expensive. The thing that I really like about Diamond Art Club is that the artists get commission. So the people who come up with the artwork get recognition financially, which I like. A lot of companies don't do that. A lot of companies steal a picture from wherever and sell it, and people buy it because it's cheap. And that's a sad fact of life. Okay. I moved my bag, I'm confusing myself. Okay, Laura, thanks for dropping in. Yep, thanks for the chat and have a good day. Don't work too hard. 23. Just rub it in. Thanks, Laura. Good old 310. Yeah, I'm sure you're sorry. It's okay. Come summertime, it'll eventually be 23 in Copenhagen, which seems like a long time away. Yeah, that's true. So when was the last time it was -11 for you? Russia. We all have hot and cold days, but some people have it hotter and colder than others. The next few days, it's meant to be really cold, just a cold spell for about a week. It's not going to be above freezing at all. Never. What's the coldest that you would expect? This is the interesting thing about talking to people around the world. Just the differences, even in weather. I used to talk to a guy on Periscope. I used to live stream on an app called Periscope. And one of the guys I used to talk to, he was in Russia. And that was, if I say that -11 is cold, he would laugh at that. It was unbelievably cold for him, like -40 and things like that. It was crazy. See, 15 degrees at night is too warm for me. I would struggle to sleep. Well, I take it you've got aircon. The colder the better for me. Like last night, it dropped down to -11. We didn't have the heating on in the bedroom, and I was quite happy with that. We didn't have the window open though. That would be a bit too much. So I think I'm going to stop. That's lunchtime for me. 35. We've actually had it as hot as that in the summer in Copenhagen, but it's normally only a day or maybe two before it gets up into the mid-30s. But that is very, very hot for here. But I'm going to go. So thanks for dropping in, and especially for chatting. It's kind of boring doing a WIP when nobody talks, a bit like sitting in a doctor's waiting room. But I'm doing these just randomly. They're not specifically dedicated to diamond painting, just really a chance to talk to people, get to know some people that watch the videos, and just find out what's happening in their part of the world or with them. Just a chance to get to know each other a bit. Yeah, you won't be. Yeah, you wouldn't like it here. But yeah, thanks for the chat. I will enjoy my lunch and have a good day. So as I said, I'm doing these just random lives. So if you happen to get a notification that I'm live, please feel free to drop in and have a little bit of a chat. So I'm going to go. So in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.